There's a lot in this movie.
There really is.
One of the things that first attracted me to this movie, when I originally I actually saw a trailer for this, and I went and saw it in the theater in Carbondale, Illinois, and it was great. Here's why I needed to see it. It has all these disparate elements. You're talking pre-revolutionary France. You're talking monsters. You're talking Native American Indians who know kung fu inexplicably.
Talk about that later. We'll
not only that, I was going to say not only that, but like apparently everyone in pre-revolutionary France is a badass martial artist.
Yes.
So all these different combinations, I had to see it. I mean, like anything that's got like all this different stuff, bringing it together. Even if this movie had sucked, even if it had been a horrible movie, I probably would have liked it just for the fact that it brought all these different elements together.
Absolutely. I mean, just from a visually standpoint, and just going from scene to scene to scene, like in chapters, if you were to just hit chapter forward on the DVD, it would seem like almost different movies, you know, going from these interior, kind of like French high-class scenarios to straight up, like, brutal, like, scenes in the forest, you know.
It is
great.
very brutal.
It jumps around. Now, I'll start from there. I'll start from the very beginning. I would say, as an opening sequence, you know, hook, line, and sinker, the girl running through, kind of getting chased by this mythical creature. You don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. But
yeah.
Great, you know, great. The tone, the brutality, you know.
I know what was going on. I mean, the first time when I popped in this movie, I watched it in the French version, just so I can see, you know, like how it looked and whatnot. But when it first started playing, I didn't know what was going on. I was kind of distracted at the same time because I was on the computer, blah blah this and that. But it definitely caught my attention. It was like it's something. It just like pops up and caught my eye. I was like, what the heck is going on over here? You know, it really caught my attention. And visually, it really looked good. All the colors in it and whatnot, and the way that they edited the movie, cinematography, exactly. It was all great.
It's definitely a beautiful movie. I mean, it looks great. The cinematography is excellent. Not just the cinematography, but the editing also.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that we kind of come to take for granted now because a lot of people are doing it. This was made in 2001, or it was released rather in 2001, and a lot of the things where action like speeds up and slows down.
Yeah,
freeze frames.
The editing was a really good part of the movie, especially when the fighting sequences.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked back, I watched the movie again, and I paid attention to all the fighting sequences. The fighting sequences, all it is like 4 different moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do it's all simple, but the editing, the way they edited the movie and made the fight sequences, it just looks so epic. With the slow timing and whatnot, and then going all fast and everything, the editing was really great.
It was really good.
Special effects good.
It really pops up the movie.
The visual effects were good. We obviously have a CGI creature.
Yeah.
Here's what I didn't know at the time whenever I first saw it, but then I found out later, is it's actually, believe it or not, based on a true story.
Yeah.
In 18th century France, there was, I don't know how to pronounce the province. I'm going to look at my notes here and I'm going to take a stab at it. Gavaden? Anyway, in this particular province, there were a bunch of people getting killed by something, and reports would vary. It was a wolf, it wasn't a wolf.
And nobody knew what it was.
Yeah, nobody really knew what it was. And eventually a big thing was killed and the killing stopped. This movie kind of explores some of the folklore surrounding it, in that possibly it was a plot put forward by the Roman Catholic Church. Possibly, I don't want to give the ending away or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot along with the action and the violence.
Yeah.
There's a lot of intrigue. There's a lot of
the Manny character, the blood brother, like you said.
Right.
Pretty fun.
Are we gonna get to the whole kung fu thing? Is that?
Should we get there now? Or
Yeah, let's.
You're handling
let's
this
go
one.
for it.
This is Langley's choice for this week. I really enjoyed the movie. I loved the brutality of it. Some of the love story stuff, a little hokey, you know. but the supernatural, mega-powered, superhuman Indian buddy sidekick.
Sure, sure.
I don't know. There's some interesting things there that, like, I don't know, the way they handled that. I think with the whole, like, realism of the world, of what was going on, that it seemed a little bit much sometimes, like how flawless he was. I don't know. Almost, like, I don't know. It was kind of just taken away.
That's why he has to get killed.
Yeah.
That's why he has to die.
Yeah, I think he kind of pulled it off for this movie, though. I mean, if it was any other movie, just like, you know, your total cliche movie, then you would have, like, pointed it out. But this one, I think it kind of fit.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I get from people who have criticisms about this movie is, why is everybody in 18th century France badass kung fu masters?
Yeah. A lot of swordsmen.
There's a lot of swordsmen. There is the actual Brotherhood of the Wolf, which is kind of like a cult that is kind of centered around this beast.
Yeah.
And they all fight with like funky. There's like some really inventive blades.
Yeah.
Like the one in particular is like really crazy.
The one in the last battle, I mean,
the one that breaks apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was watching it, I mean, at the same time, again, I was distracted by other things just because I was working on other things at the same time. But I even had my brother, and we're just chilling, smoking some hookah and whatnot. He even said, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
which kind of like distracted me. I looked, and I was,
the
what happened?
flexible bones.
So I had to rewind it
for all you
to see
video
what the
game
sword
fans
was.
out there. Very, very Soul Calibur IV-esque for everything.
Which was really cool.
Right.
I thought it was really cool.
Great stuff.
Just in inventive ways. I mean,
here's how I defend everybody fighting like this in France. Okay. Have you ever heard of Savate?
Evan.
Savate is a French martial art. It's a French kicking art. It's a French kicking art. It was developed by the nobility in France, and then it was later on it became a practice of criminals and people living on the docks and the piers. But around the 18th century, that's how I defend that. Now, how does Manny, an Iroquois Indian from Canada? No, I don't know. He's been hanging out with French guys, right? You know, you got the whole French-American War. You got all the French guys hanging out with that.
Yeah.
So
very Van Damme-esque action going on there.
Well, he didn't do any splits.
He might as well should have. No, but I don't want to come off on the wrong foot. I definitely love the movie. I would say, like, what do we got? What's our rating system? We don't have that established yet, but I'm very positive about this film.
Out of 5 Us.
I just want to touch on it. Because it was in the back of my mind. I remember a scene in particular when they're all at dinner and they're talking about these mystic creatures. He's talking about the blackfish, and then just like he snaps his finger and his buddy's off to the side, Manny, and like while everybody's at dinner, he's sitting off in the corner and he comes over and brings over his thing. It's just like, I don't know. It felt very like I don't know.
That was the whole point of that, though, is that it was set up. He was basically yanking their chain.
Yeah.
And so he had it all orchestrated prior to. Do you remember the shot where it's like it goes over the woman's body, and like it becomes like a snowfield? That is a crazy shot. That was like amazing. That is like so cool.
I think the cinematography great. You know, there was some beautiful shots, some great crane shots. Fighting scenes were shot excellent.
And if you're able to,
it's all in the editing, though.
Absolutely.
I mean, the way that they edited the
great.
movie. I mean, anybody could just shoot shots like that, but the way that they put it together in the end,
it was great.
It really caught my eye.
That kind of garb too.
Especially for a movie that I've never heard of.
The Highwayman thing,
Especially for a movie that I've never heard of. I mean, I talked about to a friend about the segment and whatnot, and I mentioned Brotherhood of the Wolf. She was like, "Yeah, I've heard of it."
I want to mention also that Vincent Castle plays the main bad guy in this, and if you're a fan of French films at all, you're gonna recognize him from things like Irreversible.